The trucks rolling off the grid here at Texas Motor Speedway. A few more laps and we'll be underway in the WinStar World Casino and Resort 350. And now our Camping World race analysis and track description. What have we got here tonight, guys?
We've got a lot of speed, Adam. We also have a lot of grooves. That 24-degree banking in the corners gives these drivers a lot of options. You can run right around the bottom of the racetrack, or you can run clear out against the outside wall.
We were talking to Brian Scott just a few moments ago. He came by our broadcast position. He said in practice for the nationwide race, he was running up against the wall, both ends of the racetrack.
We're going to have 3 pit stops possibly. 50 to 55 laps our pit window. Look for some strategy late in this race, though, man. Sometimes you need that track position worse than you need those tires.
Remember, Matt Crafton went 61 laps here in June with the aid of a few caution laps.
Look at our starting lineup tonight on the front row. We talked about it. Tyler Reddick, the youngster, second career pole alongside Kyle Busch, no stranger to success in the Camping World Truck Series. Championship leader Matt Crafton in row 2 at Ben Kennedy.
Yeah, there's Cameron Haley. Cameron, a strong qualifying effort alongside Jeff Burton. Timothy Peters is on a roll. One Talladega got a great run at Martinsville. Look for this team to be strong tonight.
How about Brian Silas there in row number 5? Let's see if we can talk to our pole sitter, Tyler Reddick. Hey, Tyler Reddick, Phil Parsons in the Fox Sports booth. You got a copy?
Sir.
That was a great job in qualifying, young man here. You that's your second pole in 3 races, but this is a little bit different place than Talladega, huh?
Quite a bit. We kind of have to do the same thinking and strategy, get the right gap, manage the right gap, and ultimately have the fastest lap of everybody out there. But everybody on board our draw side F-150 did a great job today, and we put ourselves in a great starting position for tonight's race, and we're going to do everything we can to get a victory here, and above all, have a great race for our team.
You had a little bit of bad luck here back in June. I know we were going to put that behind you, but you've had a great season with a lot of good runs here and some top 5s here lately.
No doubt. It's been a big learning process throughout the whole year, and I feel like we've came a long way from Daytona. And a lot of good and bad things have happened for this year, but it's all been learning for next year. We try and chase for a championship, and it's been a great year. We got a few more races left. We'll do all we can to really be a factor in these last couple races.
All right, buddy. Thanks for talking with us, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the race. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Tyler. A couple of more laps before we go green here at Texas. So let's check in on pit road one more time before we get this race underway. We start things off with Hermie Sadler. Good evening, Hermie.
Good evening, Adam. And I tell you, as a driver, this is a very challenging racetrack. Bumps in the corners, very high speeds, very difficult to manage lap in and lap out. But tonight's race winner may very well be with the crew chief that makes the best decisions. Butch Hilton, the crew chief for Herman Quiroga, yesterday said, we're concerned about temperatures in the right front tire. Building too high, we could see some issues. We did all our practicing in the daytime. We're racing at nighttime. Much cooler tonight than it was in practice yesterday. Will be very interesting to see. That's crew chief Chad Kendrick will make those decisions for Ryan Blaney. Let's see what crew chief and driver combination can adjust for the final run tonight and go to victory lane. Ray?
I mean, people ask me all the time, how do you describe the Camping World Truck Series? I say it's the best racing in NASCAR. And they say, who's your favorite driver? I say, that's pretty simple. It's Ron Hornaday, a guy who came from Palmdale, California with nothing. He moved to North Carolina, got his opportunity, and now he's a 4-time champion in this series. But when we look at the numbers for Ron Hornaday, they're staggering. Look at all of this, folks. In every category that you see on your screen, Ron Hornaday is #1 in the Camping World Truck Series. A NASCAR Hall of Famer? You bet. And tonight, very well may be his final ride here in the Camping World Truck Series. It's been 63 races since he won last. He said he wants to go out with a bang. We'll see if Hornaday can be competitive again tonight here at Texas.
And Ray, if he's going to get it done, he's got some ground to make up. Qualified 16th earlier today as we take a look at our onboards.
Yeah, let's ride along with Ream Chevrolet, Ron Hornaday. Ron's going to start in the 16th spot, but he is a 3-time winner here. He knows how to get it done at this racetrack. He's very good here, guys.
Let's hop on board with one of the guys that's racing for this championship. It's 29, Ryan Blaney, and that's the Ford EcoBoost camera you see there. He's starting back in the back half of the top 10, but looking for him to charge to the front. Everybody in the garage area thinks that this guy could win the race tonight.
Here's our championship leader, Matt Crafton. He won here in June. He led over 100 laps. So consistent. Average finish on mile and a half's 2.7. unbelievable season for Matt Crafton, trying to go back-to-back, and he's going to start from third.
Well, let's hop up on the front row and get on board with Kyle Busch in the Toyota Care Toyota. Kyle Busch is tough on these mile-and-a-half tracks. It's been a great year for his team, looking to win the 12th race for Kyle Busch Motorsports in 2014, tying a record.
And that record you alluded to, set by Ultra Motorsports back in 2001. And that team feels like they can not just tie the record here tonight, but break it, with Bubba Wallace and Eric Jones on track next week at Phoenix, and Kyle back behind the wheel of that 51 in 2 weeks' time down at the Homestead Miami Speedway.
What a season it's been for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Seeing Eric Jones a couple of wins, but the way Bubba Wallace has performed, this is it's been a great season.
And how about the youngster, the teenager Eric Jones, winning 2 times this year for KBM?
We're going to come to the green flag, but Jennifer Jo Cobb had a problem, and so with that we've added a lap. She had qualified in the 27th position and is sitting idle now on the pit lane in her pit stall.
Phil, what do you think about Reddick taking the outside for his choice on this start, putting Kyle Busch down on the bottom of the racetrack?
I think he wants to try to pinch Kyle Busch down, but remember, these guys will be able to, especially on good tires, run wide open through 1 and 2. Kyle Busch is going to be the shorter way around.
Yeah, I like the shorter way around because of that fact that you just said, Phil. These guys will run wide open 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 or 8 laps before those tires start slipping around, and they got to let off the gas.
An anxious time for Tyler Reddick because he's on the front row, Ray, with one of the best, Kyle Busch.
Well, yesterday we had a couple of practice sessions here at the Texas Motor Speedway, Adam, and Kyle Busch was lightning fast. You always expect that. But I talked to him afterwards, and he said, you know, we look really good on the lap tracker, but my truck is not comfortable. He said, whenever I'm in a group, he said, sometimes it's loose, sometimes it's tight. And he said, these tires that we have this weekend are great for the Cup car, but not necessarily tailored for the Camping World trucks. He said, you're right on the edge, and we're going to have to watch tire wear tonight. They'll definitely drop off. These guys will go 1.5 seconds slower at the end of a run.
Ray, talking about Kyle Busch, let's hear from his teammate, Bubba Wallace, moments ago on the radio.
Let's get another one, boys. Be smart, be patient all night. That's the fun here in Texas. Thank you, guys.
And when he says get another one, he's talking about backing up what he did last week at Martinsville. 3rd win of the season, 4th of his career, but he has not won on one of NASCAR's big tracks, 1.5 miles. We'll see if he can do it tonight. And Michael, you talked about the numbers for Kyle Busch Motorsports. They have been dominant in 2014. Front row, the youngster, Tyler Reddick, qualified on the pole earlier today, 2nd time in his career. He chooses that outside lane. To his left, Kyle Busch. Row 2, Matt Crafton, Ben Kennedy. Cameron Haley, first time on 1.5 miles for him. He goes alongside Jeb Burton, who won here last spring. 20th race of the year for the Camping World Truck Series. We are green at Texas.
Good roll there by Tyler Reddick. He got the jump on Kyle Busch. He's going to duck to the bottom of the racetrack. Great start for the young man.
Can't ask for anything more than that.
Well, we're going to ask him to get off turn 2 at the lead, Adam, and that could be a challenge with that man that's chomping at his tailgate already, Kyle Busch. But that was a perfect start for him. Looked like he got a good roll. He started the progress to getting the gas down early and rolled into the lead.
How about Kyle jumping in the outside already, trying to pull up beside of Reddick?
Matt Crafton right there as well.
Look at Matt looking to make it 3 wide. That's your championship leader. Looks like thinking about going for it here on lap 1.
Kyle has a little bit of help on the outside, has Bubba Wallace, his teammate, behind him.
Trucks look almost identical. They are 3 wide as they come off of turn 2.
Bubba went through the middle and drove by his teammate.
Reddick back out front, side by side for 3rd. That's Crafton down on the inside.
Listen to all that gas they got on the floorboard. Kyle Busch looked like he pushed a little bit off turn 2, got high, and it opened up the door for Bubba Wallace, and now Bubba's going to go for the lead.
Tyler Reddick has led the first 2 laps. First time around, he beat Kyle Busch to the line by 41 1/1000ths of a second. Right now, it's the team truck, Bubba Wallace, who is all over his back bumper.
How fun is that? Look at those 5, 6 trucks right there battling for the lead early in the going. They're drafting, handling coming into play. We've got it all here, and Kyle Busch looks like he's starting to look around to the high side of the racetrack.
He's trying to work that groove in for himself up there, too.
Look who's at the back end of this. It's Johnny Sauter, who started 12th. He's up to 6th, Hermie.
Adam, yesterday in practice, the 98 of Johnny Sauter was the fastest truck in both practice sessions. He qualified 12th, but that was a little bit of a timing issue. He was the first one on the racetrack in the final session of qualifying, did not get any drafting help whatsoever. But Johnny told me after our pre-race interview, I've got a truck that can win this race, and right now he's making his way to the front.
He is wasting no time. Neither is Darrell Wallace Jr., new leader here at Texas, the 54 on point as we complete our 4th lap of the night.
Watch this.
Yeah,
wow.
Tyler Reddick real sideways. Look at that.
Wow. You're not going to do it much more than that and hang on to it. And if you get that sideways running wide open at Texas and only fall back to 4th, that's an amazing accomplishment. But now he's going to be nervous about that truck. Phil, looks like it's just a little bit loose. It stepped around on him, but it didn't slow the young man down, and he's still charging. But wow, that was quite the save.
Thorsport off to a great start tonight. Jeb Burton riding 6th, right in front of him Johnny Sauter in the 5th position. Matt Crafton 2nd, not very patient as he tries to look to the inside of our race leader, Darrell Wallace Jr.
Remember, Matt led over 100 laps here back in June. He would like to get up there, get by Bubba Wallace, go ahead and secure that 1 bonus point for leading a lap.
We've got a lead draft here that includes almost the whole field. It feels like we're at Daytona or Talladega. Just look at the string of trucks all the way down the front straightaway. There goes Jeb Burton looking on the inside of his teammate Johnny Sauter, and Ryan Blaney riding right behind these two.
That Ford EcoBoost camera takes you right where you need to go, and unfortunately for Ryan Blaney, he slipped up and nearly went into the outside wall.
He got loose in the exact same spot his teammate Tyler Reddick did, and we were riding along with him.
And you can see what losing the momentum does. Stretches the advantage for those trucks that were out in front of him.
This is a strong run early for Jeb. He's really got a fast truck today. That's the pole sitter Reddick there that he's working over. Looks like Jeb's okay with being high on the track or low. See how sideways Blaney gets. That looks a whole lot like the 19 just a bit ago, right?
Yeah, he wasn't quite down as low on the racetrack as Tyler, but certainly had the same look of completely sideways. Was down in the garage area during practice yesterday. Jeb Burton and Johnny Sauter spending a lot of time talking about their trucks and trying to help each other.
KVM 1-2 right now. Darrell Wallace Jr. on point. He's led 5 laps, and right behind him, the boss man, Kyle Busch. We're 8 laps in at Texas Motor Speedway. Twice this year, Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks have finished 1-2. At Kentucky, it was Kyle Busch in front of Darrell Wallace Jr. Then at Las Vegas, Eric Jones got the win. Again, Bubba Wallace was 2nd. Tonight, a bit of a role reversal as that 54 is in front of the 51, but perhaps not for long. Kyle Busch all over him as they go around this track.
He's having a little bit of fun with his teammate, isn't he?
Oh.
Yeah, and he's having fun, but I'm not sure his teammate is. Man, that's aggravating to be out there in the front of the race, hammering down like he is, and have a guy all over your back end.
It's been pretty entertaining so far, Ray.
6 wins this season for Kyle Busch, and they are having a great battle. But early in the race, the platform for the number 51 wasn't quite right. Right now, he looks like he's going to go by Bubba, but we listened into his radio just moments ago.
You're ridiculous.
In that radio, Kyle Busch was saying that his splitter was dragging the racetrack. As crew chief Eric Phillips said, give it a little time for the air pressures to come up. We think it'll be better. Haven't heard anything from Kyle for the last 6 or 7 laps, but he's gotten around the 54 and taken the lead again here at Texas.
You know, I was pretty impressed with how those 2 Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks drove away from Matt Crafton, but as soon as the lead swapped, he was able to pull right back up on that duo, and now he's faster than Wallace, and that's a lot of speed we're seeing out of Crafton.
And those 3 trucks out there running 1, 2, 3 are at least 3 or 4 tenths of a second faster than the rest of the trucks in the field each and every lap.
3 different trucks have led laps tonight. Darrell Wallace Jr., 10 circuits. Tyler Reddick, 3. Now Kyle Busch, 2. And for Kyle Busch, he has now led a lap in 21 consecutive Truck Series starts. Pretty good battle amongst teammates here, Hermie. What's up with the 29?
Well, Adam, he's moved up a couple spots on the racetrack up to the 6th position from a 9th starting position, battling with Tyler Reddick. But he does not like his truck just yet. He reported to crew chief Chad Kendrick, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about a 5-2 loose. So they're anxious to see if this truck reacts to the racetrack a little bit better, or when they come to pit road, they need to snug this truck up a little bit for Ryan Blaney so he can complete these passes like he's now trying to make on Tyler Reddick.
That's what most of the crew chiefs were talking about, feeling like the racetrack was going to free up a little bit. Again, all the practice was during the daytime, and it was pretty warm yesterday, close to 80 degrees. Today it didn't get much over 60 degrees, and again, they felt like this racetrack was going to get freer. They started their trucks a little bit on the tight side, but obviously for some of the guys, they're not tight enough.
Well, and we've seen Ryan Blaney be able to improve his truck by conversations with his crew chief, getting a pit road for adjustments. He knows what he's looking for. He knows the feel he wants. You put him on pit road, let Chad and those boys go to work on it, he's going to be stronger as this race goes forward.
Surprise, surprise. Camping World Truck Series competing, and it's Kyle Busch who's out front. He's already won 6 times this season. Hoo-ah. Hoo-ah. Under caution for the first time tonight, Norm Benning had a tire issue, got into the wall. More on him in a moment. First, pit road is open, and if you have an opportunity to get tires at Texas, you absolutely take advantage. Here come the leaders. Let's go to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Adam, Jeb Burton's been hanging on to this Toyota pretty well, but he has been fighting a loose condition on this racetrack. They talked a little bit about what adjustments they want to make, but they know track position is also very important. He slides the truck in to the pit stall a little bit sideways, but there will be 4 tire change for the 13 and a wedge adjustment. Ray?
Middle of the screen, you see Darrell Wallace. He said he's a little bit loose in the center for Kyle Busch. He says his problem is more being tight, but his biggest issue is the bumps in 1 and 2. They're going to put 4 tires and Sunoco fuel on for the number 51. Busch will get away quickly, but Crafton looks like he'll be the first off of pit road.
You called it right, Ray. Matt Crafton picks up a couple of spots. Big for him because as the championship leader, leads a lap. That means a bonus point. And now we take a look at the reason we are under caution. Hard hit for Norm Benning over in turn 2.
Oh, wow. That's the worst place to be when you blow a right front, right down on the bottom of the racetrack, and you could see how hard Norm hit that outside wall. I hope he's okay. That was quite the shot.
Under caution at Texas. Good to see Norm okay. 23 laps complete. We're back after a break. First, an update on what's happening in the sports world. Let's go to Los Angeles and Alan Massengale. Back at Texas Motor Speedway, under caution for the first time tonight. Matt Crafton is the race leader. His pit crew getting the job done along the pit lane a moment ago to give him the top spot. Kyle Busch will restart second. Ryan Blaney, Darrell Wallace Jr., and Jeb Burton complete the top 5.
You know, earlier we heard a report from pit road about a little bit of concern about the right front tires, and then to see Norm Benning have an issue that I know makes the crew chiefs down on pit road even that much more nervous. Anytime you see a tire problem, and you have to understand, these trucks are running wide open around Texas Motor Speedway. There's so much downforce on a truck. They're just burying those tires into the turn. So I just say, as a crew chief, I'm thinking, wonder why Norm blew that tire, and I'm studying my tires after the first stop to see what kind of wear I've got and what the tires might look like.
We're about ready for the restart here, but want to give the folks at home an understanding of how long this day has been for our crew. Many of them arriving at 7 o'clock this morning. All of them dedicated. Donnie Russell, one of our gate cameramen. Steve doing a great job up top as well. We thank you for a long day, and as you can tell by the way they are dressed, a cool night here in Texas, low temperature down in the upper 30s. To all those who do such a great job behind the scenes, we say thank you. And John from Syracuse, you shouldn't be cold. The weather in Syracuse is always like this.
They do an awesome job. Give us some great pictures.
And make our life really easy.
I'm just so thankful for Fox Sports 1's commitment to NASCAR. I mean, if these trucks are rolling, we're going to show it to you. Growing up in Kentucky like I did, Adam, you couldn't find much racing on TV back then, and to have the commitment to NASCAR that Fox on NASCAR has, it's just an amazing experience to be able to watch trucks all day long.
We got more tomorrow. A couple of Sprint Cup practices with nationwide qualifying sandwiched in between.
Yeah, we'll take you into the night, too. We're not just daytime, folks. We're going to race well into the night here, and it's a great race.
Matt Crafton chose the outside here. I think that's a good move so he doesn't get pinned down on the bottom. We see those trucks on the bottom get loose so often.
We watched Tyler Reddick on the initial start get a little bit of a jump on Kyle Busch. That's not going to happen very often, Phil. And it didn't happen there. Kyle with a strong run into turn 1 is going to take the lead away from Crafton.
And Ryan Blaney's there too. Look at Darrell Wallace Jr.
Is he going to make it 3 wide? 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, in the middle there, that's Joey Coulter that nearly got sideways.
Talked about the adjustments that team can make on Ryan Blaney's truck. Obviously a fast pit stop. Now we'll see if the adjustments are to suit him. Running to the second spot right there behind Kyle Busch.
The 2 KBM trucks as well as Matt Crafton were definitely the class of the field prior to that first caution flag. But you give these crew chiefs a little bit of an opportunity to work on these trucks, and that could change things dramatically. Looks like Ryan Blaney's helped his truck.
Yeah, and another truck that I was impressed by was Jeff Burton. We talked about his solid start. He was inside the top 5, and while they had fallen a few seconds back from our lead trio, Burton was able to run lap times comparable to our leaders. So we'll see now that he has the track position how well that 13 Estes truck can stay right there with the leaders.
A couple of guys in the top 10 haven't talked a whole lot about tonight. Mentioned Joey Coulter there on the restart. John West Townley up there, and so is Timothy Peters. Brennan Newberry, who had a good qualifying run earlier today. All those guys inside the top 10 as we close on 30 laps complete.
That's a power move right there by Bubba Wallace. He was the first truck to come up off the bottom on this run, and he drove on the outside of Crafton, almost completed the pass, and now Crafton's battling back on the inside. But that's what these drivers are faced with. You run around the bottom, you have to go up top and just see what you got. Feel out how your tires stick, how your truck works on the high side to see if you can make any passes. And I like what Bubba did there. He completes the pass, and he learned a lot.
That Ford EcoBoost camera gives you a view on board Ryan Blaney's machine. And how about the 3 guys involved in the championship running second, third, and fourth? Blaney, Wallace, and Crafton. The dogfight continues.
And there's no secret why those guys are up there battling for this championship.
John West Townley able to get around Timothy Peters, and then Peters rallies back for that position. They are racing for 8th on track.
What about our man, John West Townley? He's solid there. You see Tyler Reddick sideways again. He's been that way since the start. Better keep our eye on young Tyler because he's got a fast truck, obviously, on the pole, but it looks like it's a bit out of whack on him.
You know, he's done a really good job, though, the last couple of weeks of using the entire distance of the race to get his legs under him at some tracks where he doesn't have a lot of experience. And talk about the running order and where those championship guys are doing exactly what they need to do, all 4 of them inside the top 7.
It's hard to make any ground when you got that kind of consistency. Matt Crafton, just week in and week out, is right on time with his moves, with his experience, his patience, his knowledge. Man, it's going to be really tough to gain on that cat.
But you would think there'd be a lot of anxiety in his position, and if you're around him, his demeanor is very calm and relaxed, despite the fact he's only got an 18-point lead.
But he does not want to talk about the championship. He's made that perfectly clear that, Ray, that he's not going to talk about the championship till it's over.
Yeah, he doesn't like talking about points much, that's for sure, Phil. But, you know, Matt Crafton is a 5-time winner in this series, and 3 of those victories have come in this very truck. This is chassis 35. It won at Iowa, Kansas City, and right here at Texas back in the spring. Now, remember, that was a fuel mileage deal, but when we come to this racetrack at Texas, Matt Crafton so good. In his last 6 races, all of them in the top 10, including that win. And as you said, Phil, he led over 100 laps that day. So Crafton good at Texas. Hermie?
Ray, we got to give a call out to this number 20 driver, Brennan Newberry. He has been impressive this entire weekend. Yesterday in practice, he was fast. The first qualifying session today at this racetrack, he was the fastest truck on the track. He's up to the 6th position. His truck's a little bit on the free side, but right now they've got him where he wants it. He's driving in, closing in on Jeff Burton.
And you see the pink paint scheme there for Brennan Newberry, honoring some of those on the race team's families who are dealing and battling breast cancer. Team wanted to send out their condolences this week to Peggy Holt. Lost her battle, and we pass along our condolences as well. 35 laps complete here in Texas. 147 make up the WinStar World Casino and Resort 350. It's Kyle Busch out front. Darrell Wallace Jr. is second. Ryan Blaney, Matt Crafton, Jeb Burton complete the top 5.
What a move by Bubba Wallace. He was able to drive around his teammate and truck owner Kyle Busch and grab the lead.
back and see how this went down. Power move here on the inside.
You got to have a really solid handling truck to go to the bottom of the racetrack and make it stick. You can see Bubba never bobbled a bit. He was able to dive to the bottom, keep his foot right on the floorboard, and make his way around Busch.
You know, after Darrell Wallace Jr. won last week at Martinsville, the boss, Kyle, showed up in victory lane, tapped him on the shoulder and said, "You've already got one grandfather clock. Do you think I could have this one?" Darrell said, "My mom already knows she's getting it." So it'll be interesting to watch these two go at it on track tonight. I'm sure Kyle has not forgotten about the trophy that got away.
Well, I'm also sure Kyle's proud of Bubba Wallace and the job he's doing with the wins he's had this year and the progress he's made, putting that truck up front week in and week out. And when you've got the same truck as the boss and you're able to outrun him, that's pretty good job security.
And you have to remember, Kyle Busch is also racing with that 51 truck for the Owners' Championship. Right now, as they run, he's 6 points ahead of the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Well, you look at Darrell Wallace Jr., and I think the mile-and-a-half program is really where he's made the most growth. Let's go to Ray.
Well, Adam, his crew chief, Jerry Baxter, said that the team has let him down on a couple of those mile-and-a-halves. They ran out of gas at Vegas and a couple other places they had problems, so they really want to get him a big win. Now, those two guys are going to be pretty busy tomorrow because Bubba is a Tennessee Volunteer fan and Jerry Baxter, South Carolina. Well, those two football teams play tomorrow, and Jerry said the weather forecast isn't very good. It's supposed to rain all day, but they're going to the game, and whoever loses has to wear the other one's clothes next week in Phoenix. So Jerry's already lost that bet one time. He's hoping tomorrow the Gamecocks will come through for him. Hermie?
Well, Ray, there's some potential trouble brewing for Johnny Sauter. His truck was tight when they came down pit road the first time. They raised the track bar on the right side, but since they went back to green, he reported a vibration only in the center of the corner when the truck is under full load. Right now, they're trying to diagnose the problem, but certainly they want to get back to pit road and get 4 more tires on this truck. The tires they put on that pit stop are the 4 scuffs they had from practice yesterday.
Well, and these teams thought they had plenty of tires for this race because they were given the same allotment they had here in the spring when it was a 167-lap event. Tonight, 20 laps shorter.
Yeah, they were given 6 sets of tires. They had to turn 1 set of those tires in after practice, so they should have 5 for the race. But that early caution around lap 22, 25, that ensures us that we're going to have a 3-stop race for these guys.
Yeah, that was a little bit before they would have ideally liked to have had that change, but with the question of some tire wear and some issues in practice, I know everybody was eager to get to pit road and make that change. So now they're going to have a little bit of tire management to get to the finish with some fresh tires.
I'm watching a stat here that could be crucial before the night is over. Kyle Busch has led 22 laps, 20 for Darrell Wallace Jr. That stat could be big for Darrell because if he could lead the most laps, that would mean another bonus point. And as tight as this championship battle is, you want everything you can get every night.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so important that Bubba's got a truck strong enough to outrun Kyle and get the lead and lead those laps. Another truck that I've been watching all night is that one just ahead of Ryan Blaney, the number 13 Toyota of Jeb Burton. Man, Jeb is strong. He's able to match again the lap times of the leaders while running 4 or 5 seconds off the pace of the leaders. So look for him with the right pit stop and the right track position to be able to contend for the lead.
Ron Hornaday hanging tough. Started 16th tonight. Spent a lot of time outside the top 15 in that opening run, but since the pit stop, starting to work his way to the front. Perhaps crew chief Chris Rice helping him out a little bit.
Yeah, I was watching Ron Hornaday as well. He didn't really move up at all from his starting position in that first run of the race. Got to pit road there. Ron Hornaday, with so much experience, was able to tell Chris what he needed for that truck, and they definitely have improved on that Rheem Chevrolet.
Ron making his final start of 2014 and perhaps the final ride in his illustrious career in the Camping World Truck Series here tonight.
Good run also early on for that 05 Zaxby's Toyota right there, John West Townley. New crew chief on board. Mike Beam has done so much. He wears so many hats with that organization, runs the team. He was crew chief in both the truck and the Nationwide car. They brought Mike Ford in to crew chief the Nationwide car. Now they brought Michael Shelton, championship winning crew chief Michael Shelton with James Busher in here to crew chief that 05 truck and let Mike concentrate on running the team.
Darrell Wallace Jr. continues on point. Has led 24 laps now. That's 2 more than Kyle Busch, who's right in his hip pocket in second. And I think that 54 enjoying the view out front.
That's really good now, clean air. Just stand a bit spin, take more snug all the way around. Good for. Just take care of it. Take care of it.
I think take care of it is alluding to that tire. He just doesn't want to put too much pressure on the right front. Make sure we get halfway through this race. We know the tire wear will improve. That's Jerry Baxter. He's Darrell Wallace Jr.'s crew chief. 3 big wins for that team this year, and I just love the job that Jerry Baxter does as crew chief. He's a car guy, and in this case, he's a truck guy. He knows every part, every piece of that truck and how to tune it for Bubba, and they do a wonderful job together.
We've run now. We're on lap 54. We've run about as many laps as we did during that first run before Norm lost that right front tire.
There's Baxter I was talking about, running the show for the Kyle Busch Motorsports team of Bubba Wallace. Still in a championship battle. Looks like he's under heat from Kyle Busch here going into turn 1. Can Kyle make the move?
Outside lane for Kyle Busch. He started on the front row. We talked good about Hornaday. Looks like a left rear tire might be down on the 9. He's out of shape and coming to pit road. Tough break here under green. We were about halfway through our fuel run. This could cycle through, but no doubt an unscheduled pit stop for our 4-time champion Ron Hornaday, going to come down for service under green at lap 55.
What about that crossover by Kyle Busch there, Phil? That's difficult to do. We saw him all the way up against the outside wall entering 3 and dove to the bottom on the way off. You change that many lanes in the center of the corner racing for the lead, that must be a pretty good handling truck for Kyle.
And a lot of the drivers were talking about the seams getting a little bit worse. We see that a lot at some of the racetracks. Fontana's one of those that the seams really come into play, as well as Atlanta, the seams come into play. Some of the drivers were talking about those are the white lines where the lanes are put together, that that's a little bit of a slick spot there.
Check out that 20 truck we talked about, Brendan Newberry, earlier. He's gaining on the into the outside wall.
It's the 07 of Ryan Lynch.
Lynch
hit it twice tonight.
Yeah, that was pretty hard there. Now we got a battle for lead. There's action everywhere here at Texas.
Trucks in the way.
Hornaday back on the racetrack right in front of the 2 leaders.
Kyle Busch inside of Darrell Wallace Jr., so the 51 is back on point, and here comes Herman Quiroga down for service, Hermie.
Been watching this truck for the last 4 or 5 laps. Couple of issues on the 77. They think it was a loose wheel on the last pit stop, so it'll be 4 tires, but even more so than that, they feel like they may have a problem developing under the hood with the engine as the truck has started to vibrate. So they brought it down. They put these 4 tires on and just see if this engine will last for Herman Quiroga. Ray?
Hermie, there's another person who may be having engine problems, and that is Matt Crafton. Crafton just came on the radio and said, guys, there's something wrong. The pitch in the motor is not right. I can hear it. And the team got up on the wall and trying to listen as the truck goes by the front straightaway to see if they can help diagnose it. Crafton could be in trouble under the hood.
He was the fastest truck on the racetrack that last lap, guys.
Maybe it sounded different because it was running so fast.
Well, I don't hear anything. Do you, Michael?
I don't either, Phil. And a lot of times these engines will change pitches. They just hit an RPM. They sound a little bit funny to you for a lap or 2. That happens. Hopefully that's the case for our point leader, Matt Crafton, because he's got a solid truck. That time by about 2/10 off of our leader, Kyle Busch, but still very competitive lap times. And you're right, the engine sounds good.
Motor's blowing up. Sounds really funky. Coming up wide open right now.
You don't think he's starting to hear noises as a championship leader as we race down toward this title fight?
He might. He's chased down Bubba Wallace, so that truck is obviously running well, even though it may not sound well to Matt Crafton.
He was the fastest truck on the track that last time by, so I think everything's fine under the hood. Johnny Sauter has finally made his way to pit road as we watch Jeb Burton ring around the bottom of the track, and I think Ryan Blaney's found something up there on the high side. We saw Burton drive around Blaney earlier, and Blaney's coming back strong.
Well, and Brian Scott said when he came in earlier, just came off the track for nationwide final practice, you're going to see these trucks move around and run multiple grooves in the corner tonight. And there's exactly what you talked about, Michael. Blaney getting to that outside lane.
He's working it in now. Once he gets that figured out, as Michael mentioned, he drove up to the tailgate of the 13 of Burton.
Some drivers have already been on pit road under green. Everyone will when we continue. 61 complete in Texas. Kyle Busch out front.
I remember.
Kyle Busch continues to lead here at Texas. 66 laps complete in the WinStar World Casino and Resort 350. And a look at Armand Quiroga, who just got back to 1 lap down as he went around Kyle Busch on track. That's big for him. He scored in the 22nd position, and he's one of those drivers that made an early green flag stop. It was unscheduled, but hoping it will cycle through. Same circumstance for Ron Hornaday. 1 position better on track, the 4-time champion right now in the 21st position. And we also showed you Johnny Sauter coming down pit road. He did so under green at lap 59. Hermie?
He did, and also Ryan Blaney's coming down pit road about 8 laps sooner. The crew chief, Chad Kendrick, wanted him to come, but Ryan said, I got to come to you. I need more grip around this racetrack. So 4 tires and a track bar adjustment down on the right side for Ryan Blaney.
That's a truck that I've been a little bit surprised by, Phil, and we see he needs more grip. He's trying to run anywhere on the track he can, up next to the wall, looking for that grip. In the heat of the day yesterday, he was just so fast. Everybody in the garage area put him at the top of the list of people that could beat Kyle Busch, but tonight, it just certainly hasn't shown. So Chad, Kendrick, that whole team, making some serious adjustments trying to get that 29 truck up underneath Ryan.
We all noticed how quick Quiroga was with those fresher tires. Is this perhaps an opportunity pit earlier than everyone else under green and make up some ground on the front end of a run, Phil, for Ryan Blaney?
I think so, because they know they're getting pretty close to stopping. These guys stopped on lap 23, so they know they can run about 53, 54 laps. So we're within about 5 laps, 6 laps of everybody coming down pit road that hasn't been down there yet under the green flag run. So Ryan Blaney, by pitting early, if we go green till these guys make the green flag pit stop, we'll gain a lot of track position.
Yeah, that's risky, though. We're obviously running a lot of laps under green here that is playing into these guys' hands. As you see, Timothy Peters, who was speeding. I guess Peters got her slowed down before the timing line, but that was really close. You can adjust your speed by stopping almost prior to the timing line. It'd be interesting to see if he did. Hermie, what's happening?
Got 2 trucks coming off pit road, nose to tail. Michael, the 13 of Jeb Burton, the 17 of Timothy Peters. Jeb Burton has been fighting a loose condition on his truck pretty much all night. It's going to be an air pressure adjustment only. 4 tires of Sunoco fuel for him. The 17 has been on the tight side, opposite of the 13. 4 tires Sunoco fuel, air pressure adjustment for Timothy Peters, and a slow pit stop on the left side as they struggle with the left side and filling the truck up with fuel. Costly pit stop for Timothy Peters.
These are scheduled green flag stops as we are north of lap 70 here tonight at Texas, and here come the front runners. Kyle Busch leading Darrell Wallace Jr. They're coming your way, Ray.
Kyle Busch has been saying on the radio that he's a little bit tight, and they're going to make air pressure adjustments on the left side tires. Bubba Wallace talking about his entry isn't very good. He rolls through the center okay. Jerry Baxter said, we'll fix you up. A little bit tight on throttle. So these 2 KBM trucks come down pit road almost at the exact same time. They'll both go with 4 tires and fuel. It looks like Bubba Wallace will have a real good stop. He's going to beat Kyle Busch out of the pits.
Talk about the pressure on these pit crews getting it done on a cycle of green flag pit stops, and Darrell Wallace Jr.'s group answering the bell as Joey Coulter makes his stop, Hermie.
Joey Coulter brings his Chevrolet down pit road, 4 tires Sunoco fuel. Been pretty quiet on the radio. Only air pressure adjustments and Sunoco fuel for the 21. Ray?
Great qualifying effort for the number 99 of Brian Silas. Their truck is always black. For the first time, it's been white today, and he said his truck rolling through the center pretty well. You see on the left side of your screen, Matt Crafton is coming down pit road. Again, they are concerned about that engine issue. They're going to check the front of the truck really well. Matt said that he is not able to roll through the center very well. They're going to put 4 tires on this thing. Also add Sunoco fuel for Matt Crafton. He said it feels like he's burning the right rear tire off early on in the run. On the right side of your screen, you see the draw tight Ford coming in. That is Tyler Reddick. Reddick has been telling his crew chief that he's absolutely, really free in the center of the corner. The last time they pitted, they went down 2 rounds on the track bar. Doug Randolph said, we'll make it better for you this time, I promise. The guys come around to the left side. Once again, it'll be 4 tires. This happening on lap 75 for our pole sitter.
Nemechek, who finished third here in June, has taken over the race lead. He has not pitted in this cycle. Last time we saw Joe on the pit lane, lap 23. And as we're going through this cycle of green flag pit stops, we have gone past the halfway point in tonight's 147-lap event. Here comes Joe Nemechek down the pit lane now. That will put Kyle Busch back out front. Excuse me, Darrell Wallace Jr. back out front as Nemechek comes to a stop on the pit lane, Ray.
His truck has been tight all through the night. He's trying to make it better, but in practice, they just weren't very good at all. And guess what? As Nemechek gets on pit road, the yellow flag comes out here at Texas.
Debris on the back straightaway is the report that we're getting.
Nemechek's got his right rear fender there is
Loose. The brace is broken, it looks like, on that fender.
yeah, it's getting out there, so that team might elect to come back to pit road and work on that.
What's the story on Johnny Sauter, Hermie?
Well, they've been fighting a vibration all night long, Adam, and they finally diagnosed the problem when they came down pit road a little bit earlier. A broken wheel is the culprit that was causing the vibrations. The good news, they got it diagnosed. The bad news is it's going to be a game of catch-up right now for Johnny Sauter.
Well, he got a break there, Hermie. We saw him come to pit road early, and the pit road cycled through, the stop cycled through, and he's back on the lead lap, so Sauter can rebound from this.
Wallace, Kyle Busch, Matt Crafton, Ryan Blaney, Johnny Sauter, your top 5 in Texas. .78 laps complete under caution here at Texas, and one of our championship front runners on pit road, Hermie.
Adam, a potential big change in the championship battle this year. That is Ryan Blaney on pit road. They are changing the batteries in this truck. The alternator is not working. He was losing power inside the truck and under the hood. So crew chief Chad Kendrick decided to go ahead and give up the track position, get it done now, change both batteries in hopes that that'll be enough to take them to the end of this race. They've already lost a lot of track position. Now they're attempting to keep this 29 on the lead lap.
Blaney, the only one of the drivers running in the top 8 to come down pit road. Top 7 stayed out. Many others got service. 78 laps complete in Texas. Darrell Wallace Jr. out front.
Ooh, gotta go.
Ryan Blaney has been down pit road multiple times under caution. The team changing a battery. He was running 4th when our second caution of the night came out for debris. Right now he is scored as the final truck on the lead lap in the 17th position. And coming to pit road under green has been a bit eventful tonight here at Texas.
It can be an adventure, but Ryan Blaney did his job. He got it stopped.
And look at Timothy Peters. He about ran right over the top of Jeb. I think Jeb was under pit road speed. I love this here. This is Bubba Wallace matching his boss. He's doing exactly what Kyle Busch did to get to pit road. As a young racer, you can lose a lot of ground to the veterans getting to that timing line. He was able to watch his boss, and then Bubba did a perfect job matching him.
All KBM on the restart. Darrell Wallace Jr., the race leader, chooses the inside lane. We go green with 66 laps remaining.
Look at 3 wide. Look at Tyler Reddick. Jumps to the inside of Jeb Burton.
A couple of ThorSport trucks there. Outside that orange machine is Johnny Sauter. Timothy Peters sticking his nose in.
Whew. Heating up here.
Still 3 wide.
That's Matt Crafton on the outside. Reddick in the middle. Timothy Peters making up big ground on this restart.
We've seen Reddick sideways a couple of times here. That's 4 wide there, guys.
Yes, that was. Among that group, Taylor Mawson, who just got the free pass to get back on the lead lap, and he's right now scored 12th. Right in front of Max Gresham, who's also having a good night.
We were at Martinsville last week on the half mile. They went 4 wide for the lead. It's nothing for these truckers. They were 4 wide, didn't even think twice about that. Look at that move.
Reddick, high to low. Can he get to the inside of Peters? No. And perhaps it halted the momentum there because Matt Crafton able to make it stick in that high groove.
Now we have the front 3 trucks running with Darrell Wallace Jr., Kyle Busch, Matt Crafton. Those have been the dominant trucks this entire race with 64 laps to go.
On board with Ron Hornaday and that Ream Chevrolet, final start of the year. Would love to snap that long winless streak, and he's running pretty good. 8th right now and looking for more.
Hey, Chris Rice and Ron Hornaday have worked on that truck and made it better. He's moved to the inside and by the 98 of Johnny Sauter.
All right, I'm showing P13 here, and we got 20 lap advantage to a lot of these guys on tires, so should be able to get right back where we were.
It's a little confidence booster. Go get them, Ron. Tires are better.
He's up to 7th.
But Ron, one of those guys that came down pit road under this caution at lap 78 when a number of other drivers stayed out. And even though the difference in tires is only 6 or 8 laps, we have seen it so many times tonight. Someone's got fresher tires, they drive to the front.
You gotta like Tyler Reddick tonight. If he's able to settle down and get that truck adjusted, he could make a run at this thing. He set on the pole. He was loose early. Settling in here, he's inside the top 5, racing ahead of Jeb Burton. And look at this battle for 5th with Ron Hornaday.
How about Ron Hornaday? Outside the top 15 early in the race before his first pit stop. Now racing his way, trying to get up into the top 5. Right now battling for 6th.
You mentioned Tyler Reddick, Michael, and one interesting point about him early in the year, didn't have a lot of opportunities to race back-to-back. Never got the rhythm. He's doing that late in the year, getting set to go full-time next season, and you can see him improving week by week at the different types of tracks we're going to. And how about this battle? Ben Kennedy trying to bounce back from disappointment last week at Martinsville, going at it with Johnny Sauter. That's for 10th. And right behind them, Max Gresham.
This is a glob here. These guys are mixing it up. Gresham has been strong all night. We've seen him up in the top 10. Oh! He just tried to help Ben Kennedy, and he put Ben in the infield.
Ben Kennedy through the grass and keeps on going.
Remember, we saw Dale Jr. here back in April. He get into that grass and just about destroyed that car.
That was so fortunate that nose didn't dig in. I hope there isn't any damage to Kennedy's truck. I think Gresham was just going to try to give him a little bump draft through the tri-oval, and that bump draft went wrong.
Remember, this is not a straightaway. These guys have to turn these trucks a couple times. One thing it did do was put a lot of grass on the grill of that 31 truck of Ben Kennedy. He's going to have to watch the water temperature gauge.
Yeah, and it could be a problem for other trucks following along, too. When a truck runs off like that and throws up the grass, it can get on their grill as well. So
I had your water gauge here.
That was nearly a disaster.
You know who's doing a nice job right behind him? How about Cameron Haley? Top 10 in both practice sessions, qualified good, hanging tough in 11th. Here's a kid that had never been in the draft before. Said the closest thing he had experienced, the K&N East race, season finale at Dover, but he is managing today and this weekend quite nicely.
Yeah, 3rd start ever, just outside of top 10 on the road course, 6th at Loudon.
All of that going on behind the race leader, Darrell Wallace Jr. He's led the most laps tonight in front of Kyle Busch, Matt Crafton, Timothy Peters, and Tyler Reddick. 58 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway on Fox Sports 1. We're under caution at Texas. And for the second straight time, it's for debris. You see it there in turn 2. 52 laps to go.
Yeah, we
right on the window to go the distance.
Yeah,
Should
I think
fine.
we're going to come now, put tires on, and know that we can make it the rest of the way. And a lot of those guys will have another set of tires laid up in there, maybe for a 20-lap run towards the end. Ben Kennedy is going to be the big loser here. Remember, when he got shoved down in the grass, Taylor Malsom just trying to help him get by Johnny Sauter. We saw all the dirt on the grill, Michael, and it brought him to pit road.
You know, it's so tough to hang on to a truck on the front straightaway sideways like Ben was. So a great job by the young man not crashing. And look at the mess on his grill. That's why the team had to come and work on it. Engine is overheating, but he's now a lap down. But that's not a death sentence, girl. He can get the free pass and get back on the lead lap and still have a good night.
Do you take the wave around here if you're them, or do you need to come and get tires in this situation?
I think you take the wave around.
I think you take the wave around also.
If everybody pits, and I think like
everyone's going to pit. They have to, right?
You're going to make it all the way to the finish from here no matter what. So I think all the leaders come in, and maybe Ben does stay out and take the wave around.
John West Townley, first truck in the 1 lap down category, so he will get the free pass. Scored in the 16th position is the 05. The race leader under caution, Darrell Wallace Jr.
It's going to be a break for Ryan Blaney. He really didn't make any ground up because remember, his guys spent time changing the battery, didn't put any tires on that caution flag. He had a few more laps in his tires than a lot of the other guys did.
And you know, you said a stumble here and that championship could slip away. It's important that Blaney gets back up in the top 5.
Timothy Peters has been impressive tonight. He's on pit road. Hermie?
Very impressive for Peters. Looking for his 2nd mile-and-a-half win. Got one at Vegas, looking for one at Texas tonight. Truck's a little bit tight in 1 and 2. A half pound out of the left rear. 4 tires of Sunoco fuel. Ray?
No adjustments at all for Bubba Wallace. He said his truck is really good. Crew Chief Jerry Baxter said, as of right now, we're still about 4 laps short on fuel. Kyle Busch said his front tires don't seem to be into the racetrack at all. Eric Phillips says, I'll try to give you a good adjustment. This time, the 51 will be the first off of pit road. Crafton will follow him out.
Darrell Wallace Jr.'s group did such a good job under green. Unfortunately here, didn't work out. They lost 4 spots, go from the lead to 5th. Kyle Busch wins the battle off of pit road. Matt Crafton, Timothy Peters, Tyler Reddick right behind him. Under caution here at Texas, so that gives us an opportunity to look at our Ford track facts. This is a pretty unbelievable place, isn't it? Opened up in 1997?
Yeah, certainly. It's just built for speed here. You see David Starr has competed in 31 of the 33 Truck Series races. He will be running the nationwide race tomorrow. Top out nine with 6 wins here. And Brendan Gaughan was awfully good here. He won 4 in a row back in the early 2000s.
And what about the TV on the back straightaway? It gets my attention.
What's it called again?
It's Big Hoss, and I almost feel like it's a window into the world. Like you could climb in there and there's another universe out there. It's so clear, so crazy that you can see it. Look at that.
There were some bats on the screen.
Did you see?
I would say the folks in the production truck are in the Halloween spirit.
Absolutely.
Did you feel it, though? Did you feel like you kind of went to a different dimension there?
No, not really.
Really? Didn't happen?
No.
That's surprising.
But it's a great screen, though. I'll give you that.
There's one person up here that felt that, actually.
It took me somewhere different, Adam. it really did.
I gotta be honest, I'm glad I'm not there.
You don't want to come with me over there to the dimension? I'll be darned.
It's amazing.
Kyle Busch won the battle off pit road. He will be the leader at the restart. Behind him, Matt Crafton. Can you make it from here on fuel? Let's listen into the 17 teams radio.
Right now, Marcus, you get to the finish, but it's very, very close.
Well, that's all we need.
Yeah.
What more could you ask
We have
for?
a few green and white checkers here, though. You know?
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, in the draft, if you run back 3rd or 4th, you can save quite a lot of fuel. So that's what Matt Crafton was able to do. He was able to save fuel and make it to the end last spring in June with an economy run. So hopefully we'll get a caution with about 20 to go. These cats with some fresh tires come in, fill it up with gas, and we'll go back at it.
Cool temperatures means good horsepower. That good or bad for fuel mileage on a cool night?
Well, it's bad because you're going faster,
Okay,
so you
that's
use
what
a little
I
bit more fuel, but you can let off the gas and draft along behind other trucks.
Behind 17 in.
I think we're going to be all right.
Kyle Busch goes outside lane. Inside for Matt Crafton.
Well, you remember Busch got the lead on the inside earlier, and now he's taking the outside. Interesting.
But he is the control truck here. When he restarted on the inside and got the top spot, he did not have that luxury.
Good start by Crafton down on the bottom. He's able to match Kyle to the stripe.
I'd say a real good start by Matt Crafton. Noses out front as they go into turn 1, and Timothy Peters trying to give him a little drafting help.
Here comes Bubba Wallace, pulls up behind his teammate and boss, Kyle Busch, on the outside.
Side by side, 5 or 6 rows deep here at Texas.
Matt Crafton and Kyle Busch both running through that corner wide open, dead even at the exit of 4.
I bet you Kyle Busch doesn't feel like that Matt Crafton's blowing up. His engine looks like it's running fine right now. That was a power move down the front straightaway.
Kyle Busch led that lap by 49 1/1000ths of a second over Crafton, and there's still a dead heat down the back straightaway.
Remember, we've interviewed Matt Crafton before after he finished second to Kyle Busch, and he said, I hate finishing second to Kyle Busch.
Hey, look who's 5th. Cameron Haley in the mix.
Love that kid. He come down from Canada, and he's got it together. He's fast. This is his first time to feel all this draft and all that's going on around him, and he's mixing right in there with guys that have won championships and races in NASCAR.
How about 3 wide? Darrell Wallace Jr. outside. Kyle Busch in the middle. Matt Crafton trying to get the top spot down low.
I think that move might work later when these tires fall off a little bit. Right now, the tires are too good. Those guys are running too fast down in the bottom and in the middle.
You absolutely can't beat the racing we are seeing tonight for the Camping World Truck Series here at Texas.
What do you think Cameron Haley's thinking? He's up in the top 5 on a super speedway. Oh, by the way, that's the point leader, Matt Crafton, racing side by side with Kyle Busch, who's won 6 times this year. Cameron can taste that lead, just a few trucks ahead of him there.
How about Joey Coulter, that white truck on the inside? Ooh, is it Reddick or Blaney?
It's Reddick.
Tyler Reddick got kicked out of line, started on the pole tonight, was running inside the top 10 when he wiggled coming off of turn 2 and nearly hit the inside wall.
That kid has had some saves tonight. How many does he have in him? That was close there.
Kyle Busch has regained the lead. Darrell Wallace Jr. settles in second. His teammate Matt Crafton is third as you see the replay on Tyler Reddick.
Unbelievably sideways on the exit of turn 2.
Needed every bit of the room on that back straightaway to get that truck headed in the right direction.
Keeping in mind, we're pushing 180 miles per hour, and it looks like the 54 of Darrell Wallace Jr. up in smoke.
Stay up. Stay up.
Had led the most laps tonight and was right back in the championship hunt. And Taylor Malsom, who had just gotten the free pass, got in the oil, and he too goes for a ride.
What a tough break for Bubba Wallace. So much momentum coming in here with that big win at Martinsville. And I'm telling you, that's, see Jerry Baxter, and there's nothing they can do about it.
How about the irony of this?
Turn down right here, Bub. Turn down right here.
Matt Crafton said he had problems with his engine, came in with a championship lead. Ryan Blaney had problems, and now Darrell Wallace Jr. blowing his engine as you see some of the remnants of that power plant that went awry.
It's amazing he was able to hold on to that truck without crashing it with all that oil out from the bottom. And heck, I know it's hard for him to even see. You could see sideways there is Bubba Wallace. Tough break, man. You could taste this chance for a championship. He was right there nipping at Matt Crafton, leading this racing, running up front. And away it went.
I think there'll be a good chance that Matt Crafton will have some oil on his windshield. Let's see if we can see if we get oil on our camera from that blown engine.
Easy. We're still green.
Residue there. You can see it in the lights as it comes through.
Yellow's out. Good job.
Matt was really fortunate that he was able to get down under Bubba getting into the corner and not hit that oil. That would have been a crash.
Darrell Wallace Jr. was on NASCAR Race Hub this week. I asked him about the championship. He said, I don't like to talk about points. Every time I do, something bad happens. Our fourth caution of the night for the engine expiration of Darrell Wallace Jr. has turned into a red flag. You can see the trucks parked over on the back straightaway just off of turn 2. Let's go back and look and see exactly what happened with Darrell Wallace Jr., who was running second when the engine let go.
Look at that thing sliding through the corner, and you can see Jeb Burton up there in the smoke, can't even see where he's going, able to hang on to his truck, but massive engine failure. Listen on board.
We're going to watch. This is Kyle Busch's on board here. We're going to watch out the back and see Bubba go up in smoke.
That's right when the engine was turning probably the most RPM. You could hear Kyle's engine just really revving to a peak there, and that's when Bubba's exploded.
And how about the presence of mind of Kyle Busch? As soon as he saw that in his mirror, saw that engine blow, he shut his engine off because he needs to save a little fuel.
And check this out. What kind of relationship does it take to be successful to win races in NASCAR? You gotta be right on the same page with your crew chief. That was a nice moment. Jerry Baxter very proud of the job that Bubba was doing tonight. Hug there. That's good camaraderie. That's what you want to see as an owner. I know Kyle will be really proud of his team.
I think they know there. The championship battle likely over for them. They're going to leave here more than 40 points out with 2 races to go. But you can't say enough about Darrell Wallace Jr. and the growth that he has gone through. And think back to the beginning of the season. Got off to such a rough start, but through the summer months was incredible, winning 3 times this season, and had the truck to get it done here tonight. And there's the boss. Takes the helmet off, and he's going to relax a little bit. Kyle Busch is the race leader. We're under the red flag here at Texas. 40 laps remaining in the WinStar World Casino and Resort 350. We remain under the red flag here at Texas Motor Speedway. It's the 20th race of the year for the Camping World Truck Series. Only 3 races to go in 2014. And coming into tonight, one of the great storylines, our championship battle. And boy, has it changed tonight. Championship leader Matt Crafton has been so impressive. Scored in the 2nd position right now. His closest competitor Ryan Blaney. And right behind him, Darrell Wallace Jr. being shown 37 points behind, and that will increase because Bubba is out of the race with engine failure. We go back and see it come apart as we went into the corner.
I'd say no warning, too, because he was maintaining position with Kyle Busch as they went down towards the end of the backstretch, and then all of a sudden it went up in smoke.
He did attempt to talk to Darrell tonight, but he declined our interview. And perhaps after he gets an opportunity to calm down and collect his thoughts, he will visit with one of our pit reporters. And you look at the onboard camera for Matt Crafton, and we talk so much about the difference a year makes. Last year coming into this race, he had a 51-point advantage. Tonight it was only 18. So much pressure and anxiety in going down the stretch, but some of that pressure being lifted now as his advantage continues to increase. And, hey, we're racing for history here. He could be the first ever driver to go back-to-back when you talk about championships in the Camping World Truck Series.
Here's what some of our champions have done in the next season. We see a couple times they've gone to second. Jack Sprague back in 1997, Ron Hornaday back in 2007, but no back-to-back.
He's trying to become the fourth different driver to sweep here at Texas Motor Speedway. But if he's going to do it, he's going to have to beat Kyle Busch, Ray.
And I'm up on the pit box talking with his crew chief, Eric Phillips, the winningest crew chief in the Camping World Trucks. And looks like Kyle's pretty good tonight, but you had one really good competitor you won't have to worry about much now.
Yeah, we hate that for the guys on that 54 Toyota. They've done a good job. Everybody at KBM's built great trucks all year. Bubba's been really fast. We just needed to get we're behind on adjustment on our truck tonight. We need to be a little better. Hopefully we got it right there. If not, we got another set of tires laying. If another caution comes later, we'll come put tires on it.
Engine problem for 54. Does that give you any concerns?
Everybody at JGR does such a great job. You know, there's so many moving parts in there. You're going to have problems. It happened to Kyle here last year. They still went back and won the Owners' Championship. So everybody does a great job. We've had great horsepower all year. You're going to have this stuff. You just got to rebound next week.
You going to pit one more time?
Well, if caution comes out, we probably will.
Okay. That's Eric Phillips, crew chief for Kyle Busch.
Probably will. We can take that to the bank, right?
I feel pretty confident about it. And don't forget, they're chasing history. They want that 12th win of the season. That would match the best ever. Only one bullet left in the gun. It's Kyle Busch. After a red flag that lasted roughly 10 minutes and 15 seconds, we are back under caution here at Texas. And now the question becomes, with 40 to go, do you come down pit road and get that set of tires? Now, Eric Phillips said maybe. What do you guys think?
I think maybe if we get a caution in another 10 or 20 laps. I think right now we've only run 10 laps since these guys came to pit road. Then we've had a few caution laps before we had the restart. So not enough laps on the tires right now to use your last set.
You know, we've seen troubles for our championship contender, Bubba Wallace. We also are seeing problems for Ryan Blaney. He's back outside the top 10, not making any progress. Bill, this could be a Hail Mary opportunity for a team that's outside the top 10. Maybe Blaney comes to pit road, Adam, like you said, gets those tires, tries to take advantage of a green flag sprint to the finish, use the fresh tires to gain ground on the other competitors.
Yeah, if you knew everybody wasn't going to get a chance to put tires on and you have 5 less laps on your tires, then it is worth it. And that may be what they may need to do something like that.
Risky. Been a great day here in Texas. More of this fun continues in the Valley of the Sun next Friday night. The penultimate race for the Camping World Truck Series in 2014. We are live at Phoenix International Raceway. The Desert Mile. Our coverage begins with the setup Friday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1, where Eric Jones will try and go back-to-back. Hermie?
Well, Adam, this is Marcus Richmond. He is the crew chief for Timothy Peters. Pretty good run of races for you guys. You win at Talladega, second place, top 3 finish last weekend at Martinsville. How do you hope this race plays out? You got a set of scuffs left. Some of your competitors have stickers left in the pits. What is the strategy for the 17?
Well, right now we're just really happy to be running where we're at. We've got a really good Red Horse Racing Thunder here tonight. We're a little tight, but I really think this thing's probably going to go green here for a while, and we might not even see us back on pit road tonight.
How about your fuel situation?
We're really close, but with these caution laps and us saving fuel, I think we'll be pretty good, maybe even for a green-white checker.
That's Marcus Richmond, pretty confident in the 17 pit that they can bring it home with a good finish. He would love to get another 1.5-mile track win here for Timothy Peters.
They see, I believed all that. That was confident, certain.
And what kind of a role have they been on? Top 5 Vegas, won at Talladega, and second last week at Martinsville. Back at Texas with 37 to go, and as predicted, a few trucks coming down pit road here under caution.
Yeah, more of an adjustment for Ryan Blaney. We thought maybe that he may do the Hail Mary and try to put some tires on, but he wants to save that last set of tires in case we get a caution with 20 to go. He knows if he puts tires on now and they get a caution with 20 to go, then he'd be a sitting duck.
Yeah, but, you know, I like that move. We're going to make an adjustment, try to make that truck better. We've talked about it being loose, not sticking in the corners. The team worked on it, and they decided to keep those tires in the pit in case that caution does fly later. It would have been a huge risk to take to put on the tires now, but sometimes in order to win a championship and gain ground with a guy like Matt Crafton, you have to take those chances.
And now our Ram guts and glory.
And you gotta like the save there by Tyler Reddick, leading the race sideways, comes off the corner loose. And look, again, Reddick almost dumps his truck coming off turn 2, gathers it together. It's been quite a Halloween for Reddick. Watch this save.
Yeah, that's the 3rd or 4th time that he's been that sideways, and he still maintains a top 10 position.
And I say the only save better than the one that got our Ram guts and glory is the one you just made with your headset over there, Michael.
I was telling a story and it got hung on something and went in my lap, and I was able to pull it back together. But what a great job by Tyler Reddick. That's how a young man gets experience, Adam. You go out there and put that thing in that position and save it and keep racing forward. That's a good learning experience.
Got a lot of dirt track experience, and he used every bit of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at our top 10 as we reset for the restart here, and we mentioned Timothy Peters, who's 3rd. Jeff Burton is 4th right now, and Joey Coulter, who we've mentioned a couple of times tonight, finds himself in the top 5. Can't say enough good things about Cameron Haley, who's hanging tough in 6th. Ron Hornaday right there in 7th. Johnny Sauter up in the top 10, or Martin Quiroga. John West Townley is back there. It's been a good night for a number of drivers.
Yeah, it certainly has, and this very, very fast with some very challenging conditions at this racetrack. Pretty windy out here today, cool temperatures, a lot of grip, but again, they did all their practicing in almost 80-degree weather yesterday, and now it's probably about 60 degrees.
Cameron Haley's seen a little bit of everything. He watched him 3 wide for the lead. He was right there in the top 5 while doing so. He's drafting for the first time. This is his first experience at a racetrack like this, and he's running in the 6th position. That's a great job. A guy that's seen a few of these races over the years, Adam, is Ron Hornaday. He's on the other end of the spectrum, right?
He's seen a few of these.
Shoot, he's won 3 times here, including that sweep back in 2008.
And he's setting in the top 10, 7th spot. Ron's solid. Be interesting to see how the adjustments to the Blaney truck is going to help him. He hasn't been anywhere near as fast as any of us thought he would be tonight, and he's battling for that championship. He's got to make some progress here late, or Matt Crafton is going to sleep well tonight.
And how many times this season have we mentioned the name Tyler Young? This is a home game for him. Midland, Texas is his hometown. Well, his father, Randy, a few years ago, they didn't know if he was going to be around long. He needed a liver transplant. He was able to get one at the Baylor All Saints Medical Center, and they decided coming back to Texas, they're going to put Baylor on the truck as a sponsor. They spent time at the hospital with other transplant patients the other day. Good to see Randy back at the track and doing well, and this is one of those great racing families that's doing it from the ground up.
You saw his best career finish, came on 1.5 miles of Chicago. He finished just outside the top 10 in 11th, doing a nice job here tonight. There's a number of drivers: Max Gresham, Tyler Young, Mason Mingus right now on the lead lap. Took a wave around. Brennan Newberry has had a fast truck here. We're going to add another lap here under caution to make sure this racetrack is clean and in good shape.
Ryan Blaney going to restart in the 14th position, and he's someone certainly to keep an eye on here.
I do like those stories, guys, that you touched on. You see Brian Silas, he's back in 19th. He's our first truck a lap down. Silas has shown speed this weekend, too. He could climb up there and be a story. But Tyler Young, with that Baylor Hospital on his truck and racing for his father, that's a kid that's getting better and better every time he fires his truck up, and it's good to see.
I was talking to Brian Barry the other day, who is the crew chief for Tyler Young, and Brian could say nothing but good things about him, and he talked about his great inexperience because he's not been able to spend a lot of time behind the wheel in recent years, but the plan is for him to come back next year and run full time. And the more opportunities you have to see this track, you elevate your expectations, you get better. And I think week in and week out, we certainly see the improvements as he's been able to make.
Yeah, we've seen a marked improvement from the beginning of the year for Tyler Young, and he's going to continue to get better. Really look forward to seeing what he's able to do next year with another full season under his belt.
Now we talk about the time that Tyler's father, Randy, spent in the hospital, and one of ours going through a bit of a difficult time as well. Steve Burns battling cancer. Steve, we're thinking about you, and our entire Fox family has united. Stand up to cancer. We'd love for you to be involved as well. Go to foxsportsupports.com, and you don't walk through the garage and look at those Red Horse trucks and see Steve's name above the passenger side door and not think about what he's going through at home. Steve, we're thinking about you and can't wait to see you back at the track soon.
I think Timothy Peters would like to take Steve on to victory lane with him once again. He carried him to victory lane at Talladega. So, Steve, we're thinking about you, buddy.
Kuroga about did it last week, going 2 for 2, and perhaps tonight we can at least make it 2 out of 3 here at Texas. Going to be 33 laps to go when we get the restart. Kyle Busch once again choosing the outside lane. Great restart for that 51.
Yeah, he makes quick work of Matt Crafton down on the bottom. He's going to take the lead into one, be able to pick whichever lane he wants as he gets down to turn 1.
Jeb Burton trying to hang tight in that outside lane, but no one there really to work with him from a draft perspective. Closest guy behind him was Cameron Haley.
See, Hornaday jumps to the inside, trying to get by that 21 of Joey Coulter in a battle for 5th.
Right behind them, Armand Kuroga.
We heard Armand talk early in the race that his engine was blowing up, made an unscheduled pit stop, has fought back from all of that to race on the lead lap, and inside the top 10, he makes his way around Hornaday.
How about Ryan Blaney, 14th to 9th on the restart with 32 to go.
Gotta go, buddy. We need to make some ground.
We thought he might put on tires to help him out in this situation, just made an adjustment, and that's been good enough to pick up a few spots. And right behind him, our pole setter, his teammate over at Brad Keselowski Racing, Tyler Reddick.
See Johnny Sauter back on the outside going by Ryan Blaney. Ryan lost a lot of momentum there. He's trying to get by the 30th. Cameron Haley wasn't able to do it, lost his momentum that allowed Sauter to drive back by.
And he's lucky his teammate Tyler Reddick was the truck behind him. I think Tyler had a big run on him, elected not to pass Ryan Blaney, just tried to give him a drafting help down the front straightaway and could have lost even more ground.
You see how quick that truck recovered. He pulls back up beside Sauter again. Sauter had several truck lengths over Ryan Blaney. Now Sauter had the momentum from the high side at the exit of 4.
You know, Kyle Busch really has not been able to drive away from Matt Crafton. His advantage is 0.2 of a second, 1/4 of a second here as they come off of turn 4, come back to the start-finish line. We'll have 29 laps to go.
Crafton's been able to match the speed of those Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks all night long. When Bubba and Kyle were drafting together, Crafton was able to hang right with them. Another truck that's been very impressive is Jeb Burton. You can see him looking to the outside of Timothy Peters off turn 2 there. Jeb's had quite a lot of speed underneath that hood of that Toyota truck all night long, and now he's getting himself in a position where he can see the leaders. He's in touch with them. Watch for Jeb to close strong. He's won here before.
Yeah, that's not surprising. You talk about Jeb's victory here. When you look at those 3 drivers from ThorSport, they've combined to win 4 of the last 5 races at Texas. What about Armand Kuroga, 6th with 28 laps to go, Herman?
It's been a solid night for the 77, Adam, especially when you consider they started back in the 15th position and had to come to pit road for an unscheduled pit stop for a loose left rear wheel. Armand has battled back through the field, He's currently in the 6th position, looking for a little bit more on the racetrack, hoping to get a top 5 if he can get around Joey Coulter.
That team has just been so close to getting to victory lane. Almost in Canada, had a shot to win at Martinsville. It's just good to see Armand being consistently and steady, one of the trucks that has a chance to get his first win.
There goes Jed Burton up to 3rd. You know, his best finish of the year on the 1.5 miles earlier this season at Chicago when he came home in the 5th position, and right now trying to best that by a couple of spots. He's 3rd behind Kyle Busch and Matt Crafton.
Yeah, this is definitely the best showing that Jed Burton has had this entire season, and see if he can maybe chase down his teammate Matt Crafton right now running 2nd, as well as our leader Kyle Busch.
You know what I like the most about that 13 truck? I've noticed it all night. He doesn't just have to dig on the bottom. He can run through the middle of the corner, and that makes passing easier for him when he catches people. His truck works in places where theirs don't. You can see Tyler Reddick. He's down underneath Johnny Sauter. This truck has been loose all night long, and if it's going to be loose, Phil, right here is where it's going to happen. When you're stuck down on the inside of another truck, he can't quite complete the pass on Sauter.
Yeah, Johnny's going to fight back on the high side. See Max Gresham, that 23 truck, running 12th right behind that side-by-side battle.
That'd be the best run of the year for Gresham. You know, he was running inside the top 10 when we got that restart late last week at Martinsville. Got spun around in turn 4. He kept it going, no caution, so he had no opportunity to get back to the front. Ended up finishing outside the top 20. And I guess his success here tonight shouldn't be surprising. His best ever run in the Truck Series coming 1 year ago when he was 3rd at Charlotte, another 1.5 miles. And speaking of guys having a good run, here comes Brennan Newberry to the inside of Gresham off the corner.
Yeah, Brennan Newberry took the wave around a couple cautions ago now, has worked his way back up into a battle just outside the top 10.
How fun is it, though, to mention these names that we have tonight? Though Gresham fighting for the top 10 against Johnny Sauter there. And here comes Newberry, a part of that battle as well. And there's Tyler Reddick, our pole sitter. Just fresh young faces that are capable of running inside the top 10, progressing up and winning one of these races one day.
Well, and just outside the top 15 right now, the 15 of Mason Mingus, who last week finished inside the top 15, and that was the best run we've seen since he went over to drive for Billy Boat.
Another big wiggle by Tyler Reddick there down at that end of the racetrack that lost his momentum, that allowed Johnny Sauter to pull a couple truck lengths ahead. Not the first time we've seen that 19 truck sideways.
A sign of his talent, though, when you can lose it and save it. I mean, you don't want to be in that situation, but it's nice for it to end maybe losing a position or 2 on track instead of in the wall, right?
That's how you keep your ride. You keep getting sideways and save it, your boss will put up with you. You get sideways and wipe out 2 or 3 times, you're looking for another truck to drive, and Reddick has proven that he's not afraid to stand on the gas, and he's not even afraid of being sideways at 170.
Again, there he goes again. Wow.
How many more times has he got in him, Phil?
But hey, these two going at it like they have opened the door for Brennan Newberry, Max Gresham to reel them in, and now what a battle we have for 10th. Sauter, Reddick, Newberry, and Gresham all right there with 21
again.
to go.
I don't know how many more he has.
I don't think he has many.
Well, we're running out of laps.
But you can't drive sideways like that lap after lap and not wreck.
And now our Camping World 20 to go, and my goodness, the back end out of shape one more time for Tyler Reddick.
Good heads-up driving by Max Gresham. Brennan Newberry avoided an accident right there.
Perhaps our Ram guts and glory coming 10 laps too soon. Reddick continues to put on a show out on the track.
It's good. We saw some major saves for him earlier, and we're seeing them now. Now he's by himself and about out of whack there off turn 4. Don't you just love rookies? They like to put the hammer down and go.
They don't know what they don't know, right?
Exactly.
Well, we've got good stuff happening back around 10th. Kyle Busch starting to show his strength at the front. His advantage over Matt Crafton, 1.2 seconds. Jeb Burton still in 3rd. Timothy Peters is 4th. Joey Coulter is 5th as you go on board with Ryan Blaney. Had that nice run on the restart. Scored in the 7th position.
Yeah, you got to like the rebound he's made. He's got up to 7th. He's a little bit faster than a couple of trucks ahead of him. That's Armand Quiroga just up in front. So Blaney has stopped the bleeding at least. If he can get to pit road one more time and get that last set of tires, maybe he can challenge for a top 5 and even get up there and race with Matt Crafton.
I'm starting to wonder, though, if that opportunity to put on tires is going to be there as you look at the battle for 4th between Joey Coulter and Timothy Peters, because the way this race is stabilized now, 17 laps to go, we've seen a lot of green flag action here tonight. It would appear at this stage we're likely not going to get another caution.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. Did you not watch Tyler Reddick?
I was trying to throw the jinx so we could spice this thing up.
Tyler Reddick is a caution waiting to happen, and if he doesn't lose that truck, it's going to be surprising because he's had such a great opportunity to show his talents and hang on to it. It's been fun to watch.
We're going to take our final commercial break. 17 laps to go, now 16 at Texas. Kyle Busch, the race leader here at Texas. 11 laps remaining. And when he comes across the start-finish line, he will see 10 laps to go. His advantage over second place Matt Crafton, 1.2 seconds. Jeb Burton is 3rd, Timothy Peters 4th, and Joey Coulter 5th. Busch has now led 77 of our 137 laps tonight.
You know, a couple of the things we talked about coming into this race were the fact that Matt Crafton has averaged, trouble.
5th caution of the night. It's going to come out for the 05 of John West Townley and the 32 of Taylor Malsom going through the infield grass. And perhaps our jinx theory worked because we are going to get a late caution.
And we are going to see.
With 10 to go.
I think we got to put tires on.
Heck yeah, I was going to say we're going to see some action on pit road as well. These teams will have to come and get tires. And that's everything we wanted, fellas. This race has had a little bit of everything. We've seen sideways trucks. We've seen some great 3-wide racing. A championship battle that looked like Matt Crafton was just going to put a stranglehold on here at Texas, and that hasn't happened. Ryan Blaney has fought his way back into contention.
Saw Taylor Malsom trying to make the pass to the inside of John West Townley, and when he did, was at contact with Justin Jennings there.
It looked like Townley slowed for some reason exiting turn 4. His truck lost speed, and he drove into the outside wall. Like perhaps it was a right front tire issue. It looked like it, but then the tire looks like it's up there, Phil.
Yeah, all 4 tires look up to me. Not sure exactly what happened. Definitely lost the front end there, made contact with the wall.
Yeah, it just looked kind of strange. He was going off pace a bit, but the tire, you can see, well, they've changed tires there.
So pit road will be open this time around. And if they come down the pit lane, they will do so with 8 laps to go. 16 trucks being shown on the lead lap. And keep an eye on Ryan Blaney. He's in the 7th position and really the only threat at this stage as far as the title to Matt Crafton, who will come down the pit lane in 2nd, and the leaders are going to come down pit road. Armand Quiroga stayed out, so did Ron Hornaday. Here comes Jeb Burton, Hermie.
Adam, they were going to pit whether or not the leaders pitted. They know they could not win like they are. 4 tires, fuel, and a wedge adjustment to the left rear for Jeb Burton. Ray.
Junior Joyner wanted to stay out. Matt Crafton said, no way, I've got to come for the tires. He's in the middle of your screen. Kyle Busch said, I think we better come down. Eric Phillips wasn't too sure, but they're going to put 4 tires on for Kyle Busch. He will not be the first one off pit road. It looks like Timothy Peters had a bit of a gamble. Johnny Sauter will also beat him off pit road. Kyle Busch and Matt Crafton side by side going off pit road.
So we had a couple of drivers stay out. 2 drivers taking 2 tires. That would be Peters and Coulter. And Johnny Sauter, who gains 5 positions on the pit lane. No tires at all. Just an adjustment there for the 98.
Maybe a little shot of fuel there to get him to the finish to be sure that that was a big break for Armand Quiroga, that he had a couple of trucks stay out behind him, and then there's some other trucks that came to pit road and got 2 tires. Maybe Quiroga can get a great start, drive off and get the win, but those fresh tires on Kyle Busch and Matt Crafton, they're going to be coming.
And remember, they can go anywhere on this racetrack too.
Under caution for the 5th time tonight, Taylor Malsom, John West Townley get together. It's going to be a great shootout to end it here at Texas. Only 7 laps to go for the Camping World Truck Series in the WinStar World Casino and Resort 350. Armand Quiroga, Ron Hornaday, Max Gresham, Brennan Newberry, Mason Mingus elect to stay out here. So the top 5 will restart on old tires. Timothy Peters, Joey Coulter, Johnny Sauter all got 2. And here is the reason we are under caution.
That truck just went straight. Like maybe that right front tire was soft. I don't know. Looks fine, Phil, but that was a weird crash. And then the 32 truck of Malsum, he just
tried to miss the 0-5.
Yeah, got clobbered. So check out what it's like to be a pit crew guy. Look at those guys dancing between those trucks to try to get the service done.
Dancing.
Yeah.
We mentioned what the top 8 did as far as strategy. The first driver with 4 fresh tires, Kyle Busch. He's dominated the race tonight. He will restart in the 9th position.
This is
going to
have
5 laps to get there.
This is going to be worth the price of admission, watching the cat that's in 9th try to get to 1st. And Matt Crafton racing for a championship back there in the 10th spot.
Ryan Blaney also got 4 tires, restarts 11th, and Jet Burton, who was 3rd when the caution came out, well on his way to the best run he's had in 2014, had a hiccup on pit road, got 4 tires, restarts 13th.
It may be a big advantage for Crafton to be on the outside because everyone's going to be fighting for the bottom. Kyle's going to probably make it 3 wide at exit of 2, but Matt Crafton may be able to run through 1 and 2 wide open on the high side.
He's not going to wait till the exit of 2 to make it 3 wide, Phil. I think that's going to happen right on the front straightaway. You got to lay back. You got to anticipate. This needs to be the best restart of the night for this young man. He's got a long way to go. Look at the jump Kuroga gets.
Chooses that outside lane. That's Hornaday down inside of him. Joey Coulter out of line, going to the inside of Mason Mingus, and right up the middle, Kyle Busch already getting after it. He's picked up 3 positions as we go to turn 2.
Matt Crafton got a bad break. Johnny Sauter's teammate pulled over in front of him. 3 wide as they enter turn 3.
And Kyle Busch going to make it 4 wide. Look at that 51 in the outside lane. Goes from 9th to 3rd in 1 lap as he goes underneath Max Gresham.
It's going to
4 laps to go.
It's going to take him about 1 more corner for these front 2, I think.
Top 2 trucks right now from Red Horse Racing, but breathing down their backs, Kyle Busch. He dives to the inside to get Timothy Peters, and then will set his sights on the lead.
Blaney blocking Crafton back there. That's our championship contenders racing all over each other in the back half of this top 10.
3 laps to go this time. Big wiggle for Brennan Newberry. Right of your screen, you look at the drivers involved in the championship chase. Newberry trying to hold him off for his first career victory.
What about the job that Armand Kuroga is doing? He's holding on those old tires. He's keeping Kyle Busch at bay.
See Kyle on the outside. Again, fresh tires on Kyle Busch. Armand Kuroga driving that truck for everything it's worth.
Everything it's worth. This is an amazing run for Kuroga.
Trouble again for Johnny Sauter. He's sideways, front straightaway.
To the grass. All right.
Comes out with 2 laps to go.
KO'd full of grass. Come on around here.
I'm telling you, Phil, the job that Armand Kuroga is doing, he's just wheeling that truck around this racetrack.
No, he didn't.
And we will illustrate time and again, these drivers not thinking about the championship. They are racing for success when you talk about an opportunity to win the race. All 3 of our title contenders involved in that one.
I'm not sure how Brennan Newberry was able to drive by Johnny Sauter. We see Max Gresham into the outside wall.
Max lost his momentum, and Johnny just tried to make a move to the bottom, and Jet Burton was there, ran out of room. That was one of those racing deals, as they say. You could see Sauter just cut through there after the 23 lost his momentum.
Dangerous time for the man that leads the championship, Matt Crafton, in some compromising positions late in this race. Had 9 green-white checker finishes here at Texas. In the 33 previous races here, that's more than any other track. And we are in line to get our 10th here tonight.
31 of Ben Kennedy will finally get back on the lead lap. He will get the free pass after making an unscheduled pit stop after he took a trip through the grass, filled his grill and radiator up with dirt.
I'm amazed that Armand has done the job he's done. Hermie, Butch Hilton just got to be so proud of that team.
Well, Butch Hilton is a crew chief for Armand Quiroga. You've gambled, you got your driver out front, a little bit of a deficit on tires, but what about your status on tires and your fuel situation for a green-white checker?
We're good on a green-white checkered here. It's just we had a loose wheel in the middle of the race, so we had to put another set on, so I'm out of tires. Did a great job right there. We didn't need that caution, but he did good. I really appreciate everything Otterbox and Net 10 does for us and Toyota. Just let it happen. Hopefully we can get a top 5 out of this.
What kind of advice have you given him for the restart and for this green-white checker to try and hold off Kyle Busch with 4 tires?
Well, we're going to start on the bottom, get our teammate behind us. Maybe that'll help us a little bit here. We're in trouble on tires right here, though, so it'd be tough to hold him off.
That's Butch Hilton. Got his driver out front, but he knows it will be difficult to hold off the 51. 77 did not come to pit road.
Remember, the 77, as Butch said, was out of tires here. Watch Kyle Busch here making his way back towards the front after this restart.
That was 4 wide for a brief second, and look at that move there, cutting to the bottom of Max Gresham off of turn 4.
He went from 9th to 4th in 1 lap.
Then he was able to get by the 17 of Timothy Peters to take over the 2nd spot. And Armand Quiroga on those 30-lap older tires was able to hold them off, Michael.
It's just a lot of heart is what Armand Quiroga is driving with right now. That truck isn't sticking near as well as Kyle Busch's, but I don't believe Armand's let off the gas. I think he's just held it down and drove his tail off to try to win this race. And it was 2 to go. He can make it around one more time. We got a real shootout on the last lap, but now getting traction on this start is what I'm most worried about. Those older tires won't want to hook up when he tries to get on the gas. He's going to be down on the bottom. His teammate behind him, hopefully to give him some drafting help, but I'm really afraid about the initial acceleration on the 77 truck.
And the good news is, so Kyle Busch's tires are warm now too. Not as worn, but still warm.
Next on Fox Sports 1, it's Fox Sports Live. We will get you to Los Angeles following the checkered flag. It's overtime here in Texas. A green-white checker finish. Our first attempt. Get a green flag lap, a white flag lap, and a checkered flag finish. But should the caution come out before the race leader gets the white flag, we will reset, do it all again. You get up to 3 attempts on a green-white checker. And once the leader takes the white flag, the next flag ends it, whether it be the caution or that checkered flag.
Can you believe nobody hit him?
I can't believe Brendan Newberry didn't hit him.
That's amazing. And watch, he just took a dive to the left to try to clear the slower truck. His truck got loose. I don't even know if there was any contact from Jeb or not. I think Sauter just got loose. And watch the job that Newberry does. He panics and hits the brakes. He hits Johnny Sauter, but instead he just calmly steered to the outside and avoided disaster.
You know, Jeb Burton had restarted 13th. Remember, he was 3rd prior to that caution when everyone came down pit road, and we felt like this was going to be a big missed opportunity for them. But much like Kyle on fresh tires, drove to the front. He's going to restart 5th here.
Johnny Sauter to pit road to work on his truck a bit. Put some different tires on it after that crazy spin. Joey Coulter, strong. Gresham up to 6th. Even after that little miscue right there. Oh!
I don't know how he did. He might have hit him,
I think he hit him, but I just
not enough to
love
matter.
How cool he was. He didn't make any evasive action into that caused him to crash. He just calmly guided his way around the spinning truck. Amazing. See a little bit of damage there on the left front, I believe.
A little bit of damage, but that's pretty. That tail panel of that truck is fiberglass, so it's not real strong, although there is a lot of damage to that left front corner of Brendan Newberry's truck, and that will hurt him here at these speeds of around 180 miles an hour.
Well, luckily we're looking at just a green-white checker for him, and if he can keep that thing tucked up underneath the back of Tyler Reddick, who's still going straight, by the way. I mean, he's been bobbing and weaving, but he still kept it going in the right direction. If he can keep it tucked in behind Reddick, maybe there's a chance he doesn't lose too much ground.
A couple of drivers to watch here. Armand Quiroga, the race leader, and Max Gresham, who will restart 6th. both last pitted at lap 108. Any fuel concerns here? We okay as we go into overtime?
I think we're okay.
I'm a little bit concerned if I'm leading the race for Quiroga. This overtime's making me nervous for him. Not only the tires, but for fuel as well.
Quiroga chooses the inside lane. Green, white, checker finish here at Texas. Crossover move, Timothy Peters. Pushing Kyle Busch in that outside lane.
Quiroga's fighting back on the bottom.
Kyle Busch clear off of turn 2. He's back in the race lead. Side by side, teammates for second. Quiroga and Peters. Right behind him, Joey Coulter. Jeb Burton is there. Matt Crafton getting after it in the high lane.
Crafton making it 3 wide, trying to get a couple more spots.
White flag is out. Next flag will end it. Kyle Busch 1.5 miles away from victory here at Texas.
And they're 3 wide behind him, and that's Tyler Reddick down on the bottom.
Oh, trouble.
There goes Quiroga into the outside wall. Lifted his wheels off the ground. Caution is out. Will freeze the field.
Unbelievable. Did he just wreck us?
Kyle Busch going to win tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. His 7th victory of the year, the 42nd in his Truck Series career, and the 3rd time he's got the checkered flag here at Texas.
And it's the 12th win for that team this season, too. That's a record-tying win for Kyle Busch Motorsports. What an amazing year for Kyle Busch and that team.
NASCAR will have to go back and look at all the data. You see all the damage to Quiroga's truck. What a valiant effort, though, by Quiroga. Toyota will win the Manufacturers Championship for 2014 here in the Truck Series, but look at all the damage. It's just so hard to take. He was so good, so close. The caution had to come out with 2 laps to go. It might have been a different story.
He might have won the race, at worst finished second, but that was just battling late in the race. He had on those older tires. There's Johnny Sauter. He's mad after this race. Dude, that's his
teammate, one of his teammates, Jeb Burton.
I don't know. I think if Johnny sees the replay, he'll reconsider that. That's just a racing deal there. They were trying to. Johnny made a lane change unless something happened after that.
Jeb Burton unofficially comes home in 2nd tonight. Let's go back to June. Red Horse Racing, a little bit of a run-in. Remember, Quiroga having problems. Timothy Peters the same.
And on the restart, Phil, I think that Armand Quiroga would have hoped that Timothy Peters would have pushed him. But instead, Peters thought the best chance for him to win the race was to get on the outside and race around Quiroga. This is an owner's worst nightmare when your teams that you own both of are mad at each other.
So teammates having problems here in June over at Red Horse, and tonight the ThorSport guys unhappy with one another. Johnny Sauter and Jeb Burton.
There's a happy man.
No worries for Kyle Busch. He gets the victory tonight, leading 80 of 152 laps. We've got full post-race coverage on the way. Right now to Los Angeles, it's Fox Sports Live. Ryan and Don, take it away. All right, thank you, fellows. We'll get back to you in a moment. First post-race reaction here in Texas, where things got heated down the stretch. We get an overtime finish, and when the dust settles, it's Kyle Busch who got the win, and fittingly so. He had the dominating truck.
Yeah, he did, but what a battle he had on his hands there with Armand Quiroga. The caution late gave him an opportunity to drive around Quiroga and win the race. Johnny Sauter upset with his teammate Jeb Burton. A lot of energy and anxiety for Sauter.
Well, we saw the reaction from Kyle Busch. He's obviously happy after another win, and I would guess Matt Crafton is as well. A top 5 finish, and he's going to leave here with a sizable championship lead, Hermie.
Yeah, the 88 had a good solid run all night. You end up 4th. It came down again to last race restarts. Run us through those last couple laps for you.
We had the last restart, second to last restart. And got 4 wide on the top side of one of the trucks. was right below me and just decided to drive me up into the fence. It was either wreck and lose a bunch of points and do something stupid. But so I just had to lift. So and that cost us a bunch of spots. And then we, like I said, didn't have enough time there at the end. Kyle could get out on me, but just as I honestly thought my stuff was starting to come to me, and I thought I might be able to run him down. I didn't know if I was going to be able to pass him, but I definitely thought I could catch him if nothing else and maybe do something with him. But it's a shame.
That's Matt Crafton, top 5 finishing. Pretty good points tonight as well, Adam.
Yeah, Hermie, and we should point out all of our results unofficial, because with the caution coming out on that final lap, you freeze the field, and so NASCAR will have to sift through all the replays. But here we are with our final restart.
Well, this is the decision that Peters makes right here. He sees Quiroga struggling with his tire spinning, jumps to the outside. That pushes Kyle Busch to the lead. And I think Peters just thought he would go on around Quiroga, but Armand hung tough on the bottom.
And they stayed side by side here to the very last lap. Kyle Busch now, he's home free with those 4 fresh tires.
And you can see just loose on entry. Quiroga slides down in the corner. Luckily doesn't take out both trucks, gets sideways and hits the wall.
Second week in a row where we've seen Armand Quiroga let it all hang out and go after victory.
And that's what that was all about there, Adam. Those older tires sideways down on the inside of another truck, and away it went. But you can't question Armand Quiroga's harder desire.
How about Jeb Burton tonight, Hermie? Very successful night for the 13 bunch.
Well, a good solid run for the 13, marred by some controversy on pit road after the race. What was the conversation and what happened on the racetrack, Jeb?
You know, first off, let's forget about that, but we did a good job all night. You know, I'm really proud of our team, and Estes has a good run for us, and just got to thank Career Tank Lines, Rocky Ridge Trucks, Pacific Equipment, State Water Heaters. Without their support, we wouldn't be here. So that was a good run for us, and right there with Johnny, the 23, you see him, he's sideways, and I barely touched him. I didn't mean to touch him, and that's the last thing I want to do is wreck my teammate. So he was trying to dodge the 23, and I was right there, and stuff happens fast, man. I mean, he knows damn well I don't race like that, and that's the last thing I want to do.
That's Jeb Burton. He comes home second, and Ray Dunlap is in victory lane.
Here comes Rowdy! Third win at Texas in the Camping World Trucks. And with this victory tonight, Kyle Busch Motorsports ties Ultra Motorsports with their 12th win of the season. What a year it has been for your team, Kyle. And tonight, I guess the disappointment is the 54 had trouble, but congratulations, you're back in victory lane again for the 10th time at Texas.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to be in victory lane, but man, I feel really, really bad for Bubba Wallace. He was doing everything right tonight. He was really, really fast, and Jerry and those guys did a great job getting that thing fast like our Toyota Care Tundra was, and it's a shame to see the motor let go, but can't say enough about everyone from Toyota, Toyota Care, TRD. This is our manufacturer's championship here tonight, winning it for Toyota. And Monster Energy, of course, everyone at KBM, all these guys, all the pit crew guys, Eric Phillips, Rudy, and of course the body guys. Wouldn't be able to do it without them. They don't get enough love. The Finish Fab guys as well, and of course KBM chassis. That's chassis number 21, and they keep rocking them out, and they're fast every single week. So we appreciate that, and of course Camping World. Can't do it without them, and of course the fans. You know, the fans here tonight, fans there on TV. So appreciate the support of NASCAR and of us tonight. Hopefully,
you guys decided to come in and put tires on, then you had to restart. Were you worried that you were not going to have enough time to get to the front?
I was. You know, I thought when I saw 4 trucks out there. I only counted 4, and then all of a sudden the 15 popped up, and that made it 5. But when I counted 4, that was going to put us 8th on the outside, but then the 15 was there. That was 9th on the inside. So I thought the 17 was in the catbird seat there. I figured he had the perfect strategy. 2 tires, going to be on the outside, get through those guys, get out front. I wasn't sure if I was going to get to him, but I got there, and then that caution came out, got us side by side for the restart with the 77, and then you know, just sort of set sail there, just held it wide open for the last 2 laps, and the truck was pretty fast.
He's got the Days of Thunder paint scheme, and now the 51 is the 3rd winningest number in Camping World Truck Series history.
And for Kyle Busch, he gets KBM their 12th win of the season. That matches Ultra Motorsports for most ever when you talk about a single season of Camping World Truck Series competition. Championship chase with 2 races to go. Unofficially, Matt Crafton now 24 points in front of Ryan Blaney. Darrell Wallace Jr. and Johnny Sauter likely not going to win the title in 2014.
Two-man race right now.
But 24 makes you nervous. That's not enough points to be happy.
Let's go back to Los Angeles and more Fox Sports Live.